It's another Friday.
It is a beautiful Friday indeed. Good morning, Sam.
It's Friday.
I gotta get DMCA'd on Friday.
At least the other song that was stuck in my head is no longer stuck in my head.
There you go. Now we're just having a whole bop.
Now I have another annoying song stuck in my head.
That's okay. At least it's thrilling. Absolutely thrilling. Are we ready to operate, my friend?
Yeah, but first, thanks for 33 months.
Of course.
Ta-da!
Hi, everybody.
Hello!
Good times, out friends.
It's
So, I'm excited about today's episode, but first, how was your week?
what happened this week?
I don't know. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Lots of
Thursday,
stuff
nothing.
actually. A lot of stuff happened, and that's why I think my brain is just shut off for the acceptance of new things happening. Um, Yet again, more secret projects that I can't talk about, and
Yeah,
but things are moving, and that's all that we want in life. So
progression. We like
yeah.
progression.
It's
Oh, look
not
at that. You've
super
been busy.
freezing cold out. We're like in the
Oh,
mid 30s, mid 40s, which is like sweatshirt and leggings weather for me. And
oh, that's freezing for me. That's what it
no,
is
I'm
outside right
golden.
now. And I'm like,
I'm so happy. What about
I
you?
love our extreme differences
I
of
know.
weather. My week has been pretty good. It just been playing. Honestly, I've been so addicted to Valheim, like a ridiculous amount. It's such a fun game, and it's taken all of my free time. Like I'll stream Valheim, and then I'll work and do emails and meetings and everything, and then I'll play Valheim offline. But I mean, like it's a good distraction right now, so I'll take what I can get. But it's been nice. I've had a really good week, honestly, and now we have Friday, which is going to be even more exciting because I have D&D after this. I'm stoked.
Super exciting. For those of you guys that don't know, right after this event, Sam is going to be doing a charity D&D event for what charity group?
American Heart Association
There we go.
Revive.
So
Yeah.
that's why she looks like a beautiful braided princess today. So
I know.
we are going to be going over there afterwards and watching her D&D campaign. You're fairly new to D&D, right? Just this year.
I am. Yeah, no, well, technically last year. I started in November, I think. So, or October. I can't remember. Toward the end of last year. And I have been loving it. I'm already in two other campaigns that are in the works as well on top of this one. So there's four campaigns going on in my life and I've been so obsessed with D&D. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I
Wait,
was going to just
Sam,
say,
guess
show
what?
your dice.
I just got my dice and I just looked at them right before we went live for the first time. Okay, so
I need to have like a banner show up that says baby's first dice.
I got this tray. It's wooden. Wait, wood ASMR. And it's got like a leather.
I want one of
And
those.
then
You have
and
to send
then
me a link for that.
okay, it's on Etsy. Yeah, these are
Okay.
all on Etsy. And then my dice, y'all. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Let me get them all open. Oh, okay, well, I may not be able to get okay, I'll grab one.
Grab the
But
D20. That's the prettiest.
I couldn't get that one open.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know
never
if you can see.
mind.
But it's like iridescent and rainbow. It's like a unicorn, and I'm obsessed with it. Roll for initiative. Oh crap. Well, I'm only rolling a D8 right now, so or is this D6? This is a 6. Well,
You're
I
gonna
got a
have
3. I'm
you
gonna
have a
die.
3. Well, I'm sure the
but
bad
but
guys are gonna be going before
but I
you.
have a +3 to initiative, so I have a 6
There you
technically.
go.
But yeah. Oh, wait. Here. Y'all wanna hear dice rolling in the tray?
It's so good.
Practice. Ah, I love it here.
Steve's probably just like, all right, what do you want to talk about? Let's talk about D&D. It's
I
your
just wanna
natural state.
can
Yeah.
we just have, like, a talking about D&D episode? I've been fangirling about D&D ever since I started
Yes.
because
Can
I've
you
always wanted to
post the
play.
link for the dice in the tray in chat?
Yes? Let me find it really quickly.
Where do you get the
But,
dice
I
from?
mean, everything's from Etsy.
Okay.
I love Etsy so much. Let me grab it. Oh, is this one that I got? My main character, on my, like, longest campaign so far, she's a Leonin fighter. She's a beast.
Mm.
And it's nice because I just naturally fall into the "I want to smash things" role now.
Are
What's your
you
character?
playing?
You're an elf, right?
I am a wood elf ranger, and I
Right?
almost always play rangers, or rogues.
Ooh.
But I like the idea of standing back, being sneaky, and raining arrows down on top of people and having pets. So
You
I
get
almost,
pets as rangers?
yeah,
Oh.
get a beast companion, and I picked a large white direwolf.
Ooh. Okay,
Her
this
name's
set
Acalia, and I got her when I was when I became an adult in my tribe.
I love that. How old is your elf? Because I know that they can be, like,
Oh,
different
I don't
ages, right?
remember. Old. I'm a mother, uh,
Oh.
and a mother of three, and the wife to the leader of the Wood Elf tribe. So I've been around for a while. Yeah, very sad tribe story.
There's my
There's not much
set,
left.
and
But
then
yeah, I have almost always played a ranger. I played a rogue once, played a fighter once.
what do you like to play for your class?
Always range.
And there's the tray. Always range? Yeah,
Always
so
range.
Noah was the one that actually helped me, pick out my first character. He built her because he was like, "I want to pick something that you would never pick."
Yeah.
So and I'm glad that he did because 'cause I'm thoroughly enjoying her. Her name is, her actual name is Orina of the Topaz Weavers. However, she doesn't like to tell her name to people, so she goes by Gemma. And of course, she's gotta persuade people that that's her name. Because if you're not worthy of knowing her real name, then get out of here. So she's like just absolutely arrogant and incredible, and I love her. I
Nice.
love her so much. But this next
My
character, we don't know who she is yet. You'll have to find out here in a moment.
my character's name is Mael Tala, and
Ooh.
Acalia is actually the name of the wolf that took care of Romulus and Remus in mythology.
Oh, well,
So
that's fine.
she's very much a mother wolf and like my soul child, and we don't do well when we're apart. And there was a time,
Aw.
and at the beginning of our campaign, we weren't together, because I left her to help take care of the tribe while I went to go try to find everybody else and
Mhm.
find who killed all of my tribe. Uh,
Oh my
and
gosh,
then eventually, through a dream, we reconnected, and then she appeared, and I was tearing up because I think Steve had us separated for probably, I don't even know how many
oh,
campaigns, but it was a long time. And this is my second time playing this character. I resurrected her from a previous campaign because I loved her
oh,
so much, and I only slightly altered her story to fit into this world.
I
Otherwise,
love a
it's the
good
same story.
backstory.
So I have a minifig of her and a minifig of Acalia that's all painted pretty and stuff like that that I just
Aw,
love. And I always would get see, I get a new dice set for every single character that I play.
do you?
Yes, so I
Oh, don't
have,
tell me that, I feel like I'm gonna have to do that now. Shoot.
and I always just buy dice sets that match the characters, right?
Oh,
So it's like a very specific thing because if I do one shots and stuff like that, obviously I'm not going to get dice sets. But if it's a
mhm.
long standing campaign, I'm like, this dice set is only used for this character kind of thing.
I like
And
that though.
yeah, that's just how I've always been. So
Yeah.
now that we're playing online and we use roll 20, and we don't actually roll real dice, I'm just like I
Craving
miss
it.
it.
I know, we're not gonna be using our real dice for our campaign either, but it's nice knowing that it's there because I can play it on my offline campaigns and I can enjoy that.
Yeah.
So, that'll be absolutely thrilling, and I'm stoked that I finally have that. Uh, anyway, we could have a whole
Tangent.
conversation about this because I do want to continue talking about D&D, but let's talk about Sam, the other Sam, not me, the MrsDrLupo Sam, because today we're doing the start of our little interview series just to get to know each other a little more since we've kind of started from like where we came from with our partners to, how our love languages work as well as our apology languages and stuff like that. So now we're going to delve into a little bit more of who we are. And so our first interviewee is going to be Sam.
This was like
And the
one of the
next
most
week will be
requested
mine. So,
things that
yeah.
when I was asking you guys over and over in chat, and you guys were just like, we just want to know more about you guys. So here we
Yeah.
are. So yeah, I'm this week. Other Sam will be next week. And then we'll dive into the other topics that you guys gave us to talk about.
Yeah. So, let's just get this started. I have like a list of questions that I'm gonna just ask Sam. They can be thorough, they can be short, however long you want to give it. And then we'll have a moment where I'll go to Twitter because we asked y'all on Twitter uh to ask some questions. And so there are a few over there that I would like to ask, as well as we'll take some from chat later on, toward the mega end of the show before I've got to dip. So, first question. What was your first video game?
Duck Hunt.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh my
We
gosh.
had here's the start of this silly stuff that's happened in my life. My parents had a limousine service growing up.
Mhm.
And our Nintendo was in our longest limousine. And so I was able to play on it once I got done cleaning the limos for the weekend. So I got paid a
It's so
dollar to
sweet.
vacuum and a dollar to wash each limo at like 7 or so. And so I would always be upset when that limo wouldn't come through over the weekend because I wouldn't be able to play. So
Oh.
Duck Hunt and Mario Brothers were the two things. So like, imagine this little tiny TV inside a limo and I'm pressed up against the back on the chair with the gun trying to get it. And yeah, that would probably be my first one. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I just picture it and like your little feet hanging off of the edge but not touching the floor and you're
Yep.
just like
It
kicking
was
your feet
a
out.
black limousine was the
Ooh.
the longest one that we had.
Dang, that's so cool. Like, every time you talk about your limo excursions growing up, that it's always so intriguing to me. I've never ridden in a limo, and so every time I hear about it, I'm like, "Oh, that's so fancy."
I had to go to kindergarten. First day of school in a limo because my parents didn't have any other vehicles. They sold all of our vehicles to buy limousines. And everyone thought that, I mean, I already was going to the fancy neighborhood school. And then
Mhm.
everybody at the fancy neighborhood school just thought I was extra fancy because I had a limo. And then so not many people wanted to be friends with me because they thought I was snooty because I was really shy. So here I come with this giant, like 10-person limo. And then here's this shy little kid. And so they just thought that I didn't like anybody. And so I had
Oh.
very few friends. So I actually despise limos. When we were getting planning our wedding, we were originally going to go from venue to reception kind of thing, and I was like, we're getting married and having the party in the same spot because I refuse to get a limo for my wedding. I will not be in one. No thank you.
That makes sense. Alright, well then, let's switch it up a bit. What would be your perfect day? Start from waking up to going to bed. Walk us through your
um
perfect day.
Sleeping in
Okay.
until my body naturally wakes up. That's something that I don't get very often, and I require a lot of sleep that I don't give my body. Um, and I would probably do that. I like slow mornings, so make breakfast, have listen to music, and light a candle, and just do whatever. I love being outside and doing activities and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it'd probably be something like, going for a hike or going to the zoo or, just doing something and then taking a nap in the afternoon and having a really yummy dinner and then watching movies all night and being in a catatonic state while I have snacks.
I love that. Wait, so what would be your perfect dinner then?
Anything with garlic bread.
Really?
Yeah, I love garlic bread.
Yummy.
Probably like a steak and potatoes and garlic bread.
Ooh. That sounds very yummy right now. Holy
Yeah.
heck. Breakfast incoming.
Breakfast steak.
That's a thing. That could be a
It
thing.
is actually.
So
Put an
there you
egg on
go.
it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, put it in some rice. Sorry, that might be lunch for your kid. Whatever. Anyway, what's a really embarrassing moment from your childhood? I guess your like first day of kindergarten could have been a little embarrassing, but like what's your most
My
embarrassing?
most embarrassing moment.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people witnessed it, but it was I have a couple and they both involve pee. Uh,
Oh no.
so when I was younger, a friend of mine was very persuasive and she thought it would be cool to try to see if we could pee like boys do. Um, but she said that you need to get like as a girl you needed to get right over the toilet, otherwise you're going to make a mess, so you had to take your pants off. And I was like, I don't want to do that, like I don't feel comfortable doing that or whatever. And so I made her turn around and I didn't, and I ended up peeing all over my pants because you can't aim as a girl. This is like little kid. At the time my mom was working selling Apple computers, and so it was at her job that this happened. And I
Mhm.
came out of the bathroom and just bawling because my pants were just soaked, my socks were soaked. And then so that was my first embarrassing thing because there was just random strangers that were there that saw me with fully soaked pants at like, I don't know, probably around 8 or so. um and then or maybe a little younger. And then the other one was I was hanging out with some friends of mine and we were playing, and again, young. Like,
Mhm.
oh man, my brother might have just been born. So like 9, 10, or even younger. I don't remember. I was little.
Yeah.
And we were playing with like on their treadmill. And a friend of mine was, you're a kid on a treadmill and you hold on to it and then you put your feet up on the back of the handlebar too. So you're like floating above the treadmill. And
Yeah.
we were then like diving underneath. And it got to one point that she was laughing so hard that she peed everywhere as I was sliding underneath. So she peed all over me. And I had to go upstairs to her mom and just bawling. It was like, can you call my parents? And her mom gave me a shower and gave me some of their clothes.
Sam, you've been paid on. Yeah,
It was the worst.
that is definitely embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah. Ah.
Oh, bodily fluids, always a joy.
Oh.
Well, now that we're nice and hungry, what was your favorite food growing up?
Oh man, growing up probably mac and cheese.
Hmm, and what is it
100%.
now?
Garlic bread.
There you go.
And Rice Krispie treats.
Really? Oh my gosh, wait, like, do you ever make your own?
Oh yeah.
I need a good recipe. I used to make them for,
I don't measure. I just throw stuff in.
that's my favorite recipe, just eyeball it.
Yeah. I am a horrible baker because I don't measure. And if it's like it's a cup and then I'll just, kind of scoop and I'll be like, oh, it's a little mound on top, whatever. Or well, there's a little divot in it. Who cares?
A little blob of
I am
flour.
a cook 100% of the way because you do not have to measure things when you cook.
It's true. It's true. Baking is such a science. It's
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It is. It's science, literally. And
Mhm.
that's why like all my gluten-free stuff does not turn out most of the time.
You make a lot of different things though, which is always intriguing to
Hmm.
watch. Well, what's your favorite thing that you own? Like currently, what is your favorite thing that you own? And when you see it, you're just like, yes.
My plants,
Yeah.
especially this plant. It's green, so you guys can't see it.
Wow, an
But
invisible plant.
it's a Chinese money plant, and it started about this tall, with baby leaves.
Oh.
And in the past year, it's just grown. Chinese money plants, it needs to be watered badly. But Chinese money plants, they make babies. So
Oh.
they have little baby plants that pop up, uh, spread off from their roots. and then you can cut them out and then replant them, propagate them. And I've been able to give 3 friends plants from my little baby plants.
That's so cute. I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever heard of that one. I like that one.
it's so
Well, then,
pretty.
what's the most memorable gift you've received?
Um, I should have looked through these questions more before we started this conversation. I purposely didn't though, because I wanted to like, whatever came naturally to my mind. My favorite gift.
Mhm.
Ben's given me lots of good gifts.
Or well, like your most memorable.
My most
So it
memorable.
could be your favorite, or it could be one that you received that maybe it was funny, but you remember it a lot. And I don't know. Well, no, take the question how you will.
I don't know. Most memorable. I think. I think my great aunt giving me the first 2 Harry Potter books.
Oh,
I think that I would have to say that is my most memorable, like the one that had the biggest impact. I think would be that.
start of your obsession.
Yep,
Oh,
for
that's a
sure.
good one. All right. Well, then, when have you felt the most proud?
Um, I always joke with Ben. He's like, "You're the most humble person I know," and I'm really like, not. Uh, I when I do good things, I hype it up for anybody that will hear it. When I do things that I'm happy or proud of, I will tell everybody because I just know that I'm a badass person and
It's true, though.
and everybody needs to know and celebrate that with me.
I'll
um
hype you up anytime, okay?
yeah. I think was it my most proud moment?
Yeah.
I think starting and having a successful business for, oh man, 9 years, 8 years.
Yeah, that would make me pretty proud.
That I mean, pretty proud of that. I have a lot of things I'm proud of because I try a lot of things and I push myself and I push my boundaries a lot for the things that I think I'm capable of.
Mhm.
And I almost always somewhat successfully do them. And so I just, yeah, I think that though, that's something that not a lot of people can say that they do.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. That is awesome, and honestly, whenever I visited you and you got to show me your, like, old studio space and
Mhm.
everything, and I could just see your passion and your excitement, even just showing me even though you were stepping away from it,
It
like, I
looks
was
so
just like,
different now.
"Joy." Does it?
Yeah, I went in recently because we had to get pictures taken
Mhm.
for a magazine, which oh my gosh, I just realized it should be out. I need to go look for it. Um, so yeah, I think they've changed so much from it now that it does not even they painted walls and rearranged everything, and
Mm,
literally the front door is the only thing that is the same
it's
now.
the same.
It's so crazy.
Aw, it looks good, though. Well, then, when have you felt the most challenged? Like, what's something
Um,
that really challenged you?
I think accepting the negativity that happened to my life as a positive thing was the biggest challenge in life for me.
Mm.
Because I was a person for the longest time that would basically wear that negativity as like a badge of being like, look what I went through,
Oh.
kind of thing, as almost like a competition with people. And I held on to that for a long time is like that was my identity. I was the broken kid and came from a broken family and all this kind of stuff. And I think that accepting that and taking that as a positive thing.
Aw, I'm proud of you. That's hard. That's
It was
really
very
hard to
hard.
do.
But I mean, honestly, if you think about it, I would not want to change any of it because I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be sitting here. I probably wouldn't even know you. Like, it's crazy to go back and think about the butterfly effect kind of thing. If one little thing changed, how different would your life be? So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful you're in my life. Thank you. Um, let's see. What do you do when no one else is around? What is something that you do?
Dance and sing
What
really
is
loud.
it? What do you like to dance and sing to?
Anything, honestly. It depends on my mood, but any of like the upbeat funk. I like funk music a lot. Like it's
Mhm.
just got a good beat and groove to it. And so like, taking unloading the dishwasher and I am just jamming out. And it's hard now because like Charlie's home all the time and then he just tells me that I'm funny and I look silly when I'm doing it. I'm like, whatever.
Trying to be funny, Charlie.
Yeah. I'm trying to be cool. This is cool, okay?
Did you ever get in trouble in school?
No, honestly.
Never?
No. I was
Dang!
a shy kid. So I didn't really like assert myself anywhere
Mhm.
and I don't think I ever got in trouble. I don't think I did.
Dang, girl.
I was a
Proud of
I was a
you.
good kid. Honestly, like I was a really good kid.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Our low quiet bean.
Yeah. Mm.
Um, where do you want to travel the most? Like
Last year Ben and I for our 10-year anniversary we were supposed to go to Europe. And
Mhm.
we were going to go to Scotland and Ireland and London and it was going to start there and then we were going to kind of see depending on how much that cost. We were going to expand out from there, but we were planning on going all along there because we're both very Irish. I'm Scottish as well, and I'm Welsh and Danish, and I'm all from that northwest European kind of thing. So that I think is where I would want to visit the most. So hopefully
Mhm.
in the next few years, that's like a thing that can
Yeah.
actually happen for real. Because we had it planned, and we're like, okay.
Well, you had a lot planned last year that unfortunately got canceled.
Yeah, I had
Mhm.
three nice vacations.
Uh-huh. You had Hawaii, you had Europe.
And
Yeah, what else?
Hawaii again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 'cause of Jordan's wedding, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Dang. What's one thing that most people don't know about you?
One thing that most people don't know about me, I'm a fairly open book. Like, I'll talk about anything. People that
Mhm.
ask or show interest, I like talking. Um, so what?
Is there an injury that you've had that it's like a scar that you never really tell anybody about, but it's
Mm.
there and no? I'm trying to, like, think. Uh
A lot of people are surprised about things. Like, um, some our manager at Loaded was just surprised yesterday that I could draw. So like I feel
oh,
like there's so many facets of me that it's kind of hard to um have everybody know all of them.
mm,
So I guess maybe that's the thing is that a lot of people don't know all of the things that I can do or
there you
that
go.
I like to do or done.
Do you have any hand talents? Can you do these things?
No. I have a
Oh, wait, you
scar.
you have your wrist thing.
Oh, that's cuz my wrist is broken. All right, everybody take your hands and put them like this. Okay? And then now put them like this. Try and keep your arm level and see how much of an angle you have. Okay?
Oh, wait, which way do I need to turn? There you
Here's the angle of my right wrist because I broke it. It's
go.
literally a 45-degree angle and I cannot fix it.
There you go, the, hidden talent.
Yeah.
A party trick.
Break your wrist and you can do it too.
Yeah, don't do that, please.
Yeah. It's
Disclaimer,
actually not how
disclaimer.
I broke my wrist. I fell off the hood of a car that why I was driving. So
Nice, I love that for you.
yeah, I like my friends. They surely didn't lock me out of the car, and then I sat on the hood of the car pouting, and then they decided to just start driving. And as I was slipping and slamming or hitting my hand on the windshield, saying they needed to slow down and stop because I was going to fall, they sped up, and so I jumped off the car and rolled into somebody's yard.
Did they feel
And
bad?
then I thought I just sprained it, so I went 2 months doing color guard during marching season with a broken wrist.
I hope they felt bad.
uh, I'm pretty sure he did.
Uh, okay, well then what's the worst you've been physically hurt? Like, is that it? Or
I would say yeah. That
yeah.
that
That's
would
pretty
be
lucky.
yeah, that's the only bone I've ever broken. And I guess when I was younger, I have a scar. I have like a lot of scars down my hand, but a big one that's maybe about 2 inches on my finger here. I
Mm.
was rollerblading, and part of the sidewalk was going down a big steep hill, and part of the sidewalk was jutted up, and so my
Oh,
wheels hit it, and I went flying. And we don't wear protective gear, right? In the
yeah,
in
none of
the
us
early
really do.
90s.
For
No,
real.
it's not existent. And so across someone's driveway, whole face. Thankfully, all I had was just this scar. Otherwise, I have a little scar up here on my head, and that's it. But my
Mhm.
whole face was just cut up and bloody because it was like this. It was like sliding across somebody's driveway.
Ow.
Yeah.
Just the thought of it.
I cried so hard. I don't even remember who I was with. I remember the hill though, because it was by the high school. But I don't
Mhm.
remember why I was there or who I was hanging out with. Like, who did I know? I have no clue who I was with when that happened. But
Nice. Ooh. Alright, what did you wanna be when you grew up?
from the age of 5, except for a small stint of wanting to be a veterinarian in kindergarten, because I feel like almost every girl wants to be a vet at some point. And then after my brother was born, wanting to be a pediatrician for a very small amount. I've wanted to be an artist of some kind. That was 5. So,
Aw.
and it varied. Like I wanted to be a painter, and then my dad told me that most painters don't become famous until they
Yeah,
die. So
realistic.
I was like, well, maybe not that. And then I wanted to be a tattoo artist. I wanted to be a web designer, and I wanted to be a cereal box designer.
You were just
Um,
a serial killer.
Serial killer. Yes. Yes.
No, no, no,
I
Sam, please
wanted
don't do
to
that.
be I wanted to be a food stylist. That's what my great aunt
Ooh.
did. So all the pictures of food that
Yeah, my
looks
brother
yummy.
went through
She's the
that.
one that made that look good. And every single time I would go visit her, she would take me to her jobs and let me be a part of it. So I have a few pictures that are on boxes or on billboards or in magazines and stuff like that that I've been able to help, you know, lay the flowers out, and I was her assistant, so I would go put the gloss on the pasta and stuff like that.
That's so
Yeah, so
fun.
I wanted to do that for the longest time because of her. And then
Mm.
photography just really clicked with me in junior high, and I stuck with it. Always wanted to illustrate books and draw, and I love doing all sorts of it's green again. I love doing all sorts of different
I
types
love
of
invisible stuff.
yeah, I like invisible stuff too. But I love doing art. My whole entire office is literally just covered in art stuff. So
Aw, so it seems like you've gone mostly, like, creative routes,
oh yeah.
which is just true to you, like, I'm impressed, and you're still doing creative stuff, so that's Sam.
Yeah.
Do you believe in ghosts or aliens?
I believe that there is the potential for something outside living outside of our planet.
Mm,
100%. I do not believe in ghosts.
okay. Do you believe in, like, anything's paranormal that happens? Like, even
Yeah.
if it's not ghosts, but, like, spirits or anything? Interesting.
Nice and simple. I don't believe that there's an afterlife. I don't believe that there's ghosts. I don't believe in like tarot cards or seances or, any of that kind of stuff. I find it
Mhm.
fascinating to watch and learn about. And like even people, they have the little staticky thingy that they take into haunted houses and they're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, the static's really big over here. I'm like, oh my gosh, what
Yeah,
is it? But I don't believe in it.
there you go.
I
That's
am
interesting.
you see what you get, and I have to see it to believe it kind of person. So if I ever am in a situation where people can prove to me that there is the existence of ghosts and hauntings and stuff like that, then cool.
I'd love to go to Roswell with you, like, their whole alien exhibits. I've been there before, and it was so fun.
Really? Oh, that'd
It
be
made
so
me
cool.
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, if you had to listen to one band for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Mm. Okay, this
And
one I have been
why?
thinking about since you sent me that list because
Ooh,
there's
okay.
so many that I would choose. um, I do think overall, and a lot of people are gonna probably give me flack for this, I could listen to Dave Matthews Band for the rest of my life.
Oh my gosh, I love Dave Matthews.
Because they just like they have slow songs, they have upbeat songs, they have love songs, all this kind of yes, yeah. I think it would have to be Dave Matthews Band. Would be the number one for sure. But I had like three that I had lined up behind there.
Then let me hear your top 3. What would your top 3 be? So Dave Matthews Band.
Um, Sticks,
I've
Newfound
never heard of
Glory.
6.
You've never heard of Sticks? Yeah, you have.
I
Mr.
haven't.
Roboto, Come Sail Away.
Oh wait, yes, I have. I guess I've just never heard the band name.
Yes, Sticks.
So I've heard their popular songs. Okay, so wait, did you say Dave Matthews Band,
Sticks and
Sticks,
Newfound Glory.
Newfound Glory? Okay. That's like yeah, that's Sam. Like, now that I, like, see those 3 together, I'm like, "That's Sam."
Sticks was my first concert, like first official concert that I chose to go to. I've been to like a few country concerts that were at the county fair and stuff like that
Mhm.
growing up, but my first official I want to go to this was called Rockin' on the Runway, and they everybody flies their airplanes in,
Oh,
and then they set up a
cool.
stage on the runway, and Sticks was the band, and I was maybe about 14 or so, 15 maybe. And yeah, it just, I've
Dang.
seen them 3 times since then.
Mhm. Oh, wait,
And
weren't you a pilot? Or don't you have a pilot license? Is that you?
I don't have a pilot's license, but I do know how to fly a plane.
Okay, that's what it was. Dang. That's so fun.
So,
Yeah, I
uh,
love that.
but yeah, I think that would be it. It's always fun to go through. I don't know if you've ever done this, but people have asked you like, what songs did you, or like, what music did you listen to throughout your life? And I
Mhm.
always like going through and being like, all right, starting at about junior high, I was a top 40s girl all the way. Junior high for me kind of time, that would be like 2000s, late 90s,
Mhm.
2000s. So I was Hanson before that, like Hanson and pop music, whatever. But then when I really started getting into music, it was top 40 first. So it was like Baha Men and Nelly
Okay.
and Five for Fighting and all of those early 2000 songs. And
Yeah.
then I went into a pop punk and indie phase. So like Newfound Glory, Sum 41, Avril Lavigne, Offspring, um, and indies pop. So like Jimmy Eat World, Weezer, all
Gosh,
that kind of
nostalgia
stuff.
right now.
What was that?
The nostalgia right now.
Yeah. And then later in high school, then, start adding in a little bit of the emo and alt rock. So My Chemical Romance and Dashboard Confessional, Bright Eyes, all that kind of stuff. College, I then became more of like jam band, hippie music. So lots of Dave Matthews Band and Jack
Mhm.
Johnson and stuff like that. And now I listen to all of it still, but I have a little bit more of kind of like funk influenced bands and songs that I really like. Um, and alt rock.
Got a good roundabout.
Yeah. Basically everything but hard rap, hard rock, like, super hard rock,
Mhm.
metal. Not a metal fan. And modern country. I'll listen to like early 90s and earlier country. Anything after that, like once Dixie Chicks started coming around, no, I'm out.
Yeah. Dang. So you're well-rounded in your music, but that's what were we listening to whenever I was visiting you? You turned something on in the morning. Was it Beatles?
Beatles is a hard mainstay in our home.
Maybe it was that though.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
Charlie's favorite band.
oh, that's right. Yeah, I just felt the vibe in your house. I was like, "This is a Sam house."
Yeah,
Happy to
we
hear.
just chill.
So if you sorry, totally going a different direction now. If you could live in any time period, what would you choose and why?
Mm, Probably 70s,
Mm,
late 70s,
okay.
probably. I like the fashion. We're gonna put all of politics aside for any of of the eras,
Yeah,
right?
no,
Because
no.
I mean,
Let's leave it
there's
up
good
to
and bad in every era. But late 70s, it just like I like the fashion. I love the music and just the overall feel and vibe and free love, all that kind of stuff. I mean, guess that's a little bit of 60s too, but I feel like 70s is just that good middle ground for me. 80s became a little too crazy.
Mhm.
90s is a little too sad as far as just like the overall vibe of everything happening. I just feel like 70s was a hippie. I hippie down at the bottom of my soul. So
You are. I love that about you. You're just chill. Um, what foreign language would you like to become fluent in?
Mm, mm. Sign language considered a foreign language?
Mhm.
Isn't that? I
Yes.
know a little American Sign Language.
Sweet.
I
Say
know
yes,
enough to talk to people if I have to, but my grammar is awful. Um,
that's okay. Yeah, same.
yeah. So I sign as though I speak. And that
Mm.
because that's just the only way I can remember to make sure I'm not missing large portions of the conversation. Um, but I started learning the grammar of it and just I can barely grasp English grammar. So it was just so difficult for me to understand sign language grammar. So,
It's fine. That totally makes sense. I mean, it's the same with learning any language. You're gonna have to go through their
right.
new
Why can't
grammar.
it be like math where everything's the same, right?
Maybe one
But
day
maybe it's
we'll
just
have
different
common
words,
ground.
but the grammar structure is the same or something
Yeah.
like that, right?
Um, all right. What is your all-time favorite dessert?
Mm, anything with baked apples.
Oh.
We had baked apple. We had a food truck come to our neighborhood yesterday that was like barbecue, and they had baked apples. And everybody that was over for dinner, we were all just like, baked apples. Like you can't go wrong with baked apples, right? There's nothing negative about them. Apple pie, apple crisp, apple turnovers, just regular baked apples, apple sauce. Like you just can't go wrong with apples and cinnamon that are warm.
That sounds so good. Have you ever put cheddar cheese on your apple pie?
We've talked about this and no, you're disgusting.
It's so good.
No, it's so bad.
I love it so much.
I can't even have cheese for one. And two, I don't like cheese. So
Oh, that's true. Never mind, never mind. I don't
yeah.
think I'd wanna put vegan cheese on my apple pie,
No,
honestly.
probably not.
Like, I'll
It
do
doesn't melt the same.
Alright, what's the luckiest thing that's ever happened to you?
mm, I think being told that I was wasting my money at the university I was going to and I needed to switch schools.
Oh, elaborate?
I started going to school at UNL, University of Nebraska Lincoln,
Mhm.
for art. It was the art college in the state. Everybody went there, but I wanted to do commercial photography. I wanted to take pictures of people. I wanted to create memories for people. And I was doing horrible in school because I was doing more stuff like that. And they're like, okay, but why did you take this picture of this person and what is it conveying? And I'm like, I understand that. I can do art photography all day long,
Mhm.
but this isn't what I wanted to learn. I want to learn lighting. I want to learn how to create that connection with somebody. And so one of the main teachers at UNL is married to the photo professor at the school that I went to. And they sat me down and got me transferred over and I moved to Omaha.
There you go.
Yep. And
Dang.
yeah, life would have been
It
way different if I had moved to Omaha from Lincoln. So I think
it's
that's
true, you
probably the
have been.
luckiest thing is that somebody recognized that I was not following the path that I wanted to.
I love that. I like that somebody, was looking out for you without even realizing it.
Yeah. So then I was able to move into the duplex Made a lot of great friends there. Met Ben outside of the duplex.
Mhm.
Met a lot of friends that I got jobs with through school, and yeah, found my mentor and all that kind of stuff there. So
Oh, I love that. Um, I had a question that I didn't write down and then I lost it. Oh, sorry. Segueing back to food really quickly. What's a weird food combination that you like? Since you're judging mine.
when I could have eggs, it was eggs and maple syrup.
That's so good.
Sweet eggs.
Mm.
Recently I found that cucumbers with honey on them are actually really good.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. I've never
It's
had
like
it, but it
very
sounds really.
crisp but sweet.
Uh-huh.
I'm a very simple eater though, so I don't think I have any weird combinations.
Did you ever dip, like, your steak fingers in mashed potatoes? Or
I mean,
sorry, this
steak
is
and
weird.
potatoes together is amazing.
Yes, that is true. That is very true.
But no, I'm not like I've never been
Ketchup in your
a
macaroni.
condiment person.
Mm, okay.
So I usually feel like that's where most of the weird combinations come from. It's like you put something in a condiment.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's
I'm not a condiment person.
a condiment.
A condiment.
Alright,
I put Doritos on my ham sandwich.
yum, chip sandwiches are the best.
Yes. Okay. See.
So good. It just adds, like, a nice crunch.
Yeah.
Mm.
And especially because when I couldn't have cheese, that I could have a little bit of dairy and a little bit of the Doritos was just
Mhm.
enough to have like that cheesy flavor on my ham sandwich. And now
Mm.
that's what I'm having for lunch.
Now it's what you're having for lunch. Well, so that you can, eat and make sure you throw it all up, do you like roller coasters?
I love roller coasters. However, I last time I went on a roller coaster, I ended up putting myself into vertigo for 5 days. Um, so I guess not the last time. The last time that I went on a day really hard, because last time I went on a roller coaster was with you. But if you remember, we had
Was
to
it?
pause. Yes, when we went to Universal.
Oh, that's right, sorry.
If you remember, we had to pause after each roller coaster to let my
Mhm.
body settle.
Chill.
Which is like it sucks so bad because I know I'm getting older, right? That's what that
Mhm.
means is that you're getting older, or I just have not continuously been doing high adrenaline flippy stuff. Like when I remember when I went to college and then I came back and my dad and I went flying and I got a stomach ache
Aw.
because I hadn't flown for so long that it just killed me. So now it basically is just me, I can't do anything that could potentially give me a stomach ache. So no
Aw.
flippies, no roller coasters, or if I have a roller coaster, then I need to um basically need to just sit down and breathe and drink lots of water in between.
I think I remember you telling me this too, that you were stuck in vertigo.
And I had to go on an airplane a
Yeah.
couple days after that. So we went down to Kansas City to Worlds of Fun, and we went on was it the Patriot or the Boomerang? One of the two. If anybody in the Midwest, you will know what I'm talking about.
I
I
don't know.
believe it was the Patriot. No, no, that's the one I was going to go on. It was the Boomerang. It was the Boomerang, and we went on it twice, back to back, and that was it. And then I just thought I just made myself not feel good, so I spent the rest of the day just watching everybody. And
Mhm.
then Ben and I were going on our first vacation to just go somewhere. We were going to Chicago, and the day before, I was like, I'm still sick. I can't get on a plane like this. I'm gonna puke everywhere. So I went to the doctor. They're like, if here's these pills, and if you are not better by tomorrow morning, you can't go on the plane and you have to reschedule. And I was like, we can't afford that. We're just little kids now. Like,
Oh, no.
so thankfully, though, in that 24 hours, I basically just slept and took my medicine and drank a lot of water. And then I was fine the next morning, hours before we had to go on the plane.
Yay.
So
But
no
also,
putting me on
well,
lots of roller coasters. I like them, but no. I can't
your
do
body
like
doesn't like
I
them.
can't do VR because I get stomach
Oh,
aches.
yeah.
I can't be a passenger in the back seat of a car. for very long because I get motion sickness now. I'm just old.
Ugh, I'm
Awkward
just like
pause because nobody wants to say, no, you're not old.
no, my thing is to agree, and I'm like, "Yeah, we're getting old,
We're getting
and our
old.
bodies
I'm
are
going to be
telling us."
35 this year.
That's so awesome.
Nobody believes
Dang.
me though.
I never believe you. I
I
still don't
posted
think
about that
that.
recently and someone's like, are you serious?
I feel like people think that once you hit 30, you're supposed to be, like, decrepit. It's like, "What
Huh,
why?" It's not
something.
30 is not old
I
at
don't know. I don't
all.
think I look like I'm 35 though. I think like maybe late 20s, 29, 28, 30 ish or whatever. Um, but my parents, they are in their 60s and they both look like they're in their mid 50s. So they
See, I
just
love that.
have really young genes and I like them for that.
Super young genes. So, what's your favorite holiday?
mm, Christmas,
Yeah?
probably.
So so good
I'm
get
not a
together
huge
family
holiday person
time.
though. Like I don't we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. St. Patrick's Day is just kind of an excuse to be like, hey guys, I'm Irish.
Yeah.
Um, Easter we don't really celebrate much. Fourth of July is cool, but I've had fireworks blown up in my hand, so I don't really like doing
Ugh.
that a lot. So uh um let's see. Halloween, it's fun, but like as an adult with a kid, is it really that that fun?
Yeah. Do y'all mostly celebrate stuff because of Charlie?
No, not really. I mean,
Oh,
he doesn't really know much about. He knows Valentine's Day because we tell him it's Valentine's Day. And he knows it's Easter because we tell him it's Easter. So at least at this point, we're still celebrating the same amount of stuff in the same way that we
yeah.
normally would without him being around. So I think Christmas just because it's warm, it's cozy. One of my love languages is gift giving and receiving. Um, and you just get lots of good food and snuggles and
Love that.
yep.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay, well, I think I know this answer, but what's your favorite color for people who don't know?
I have three.
Ooh, go for it.
Practically any shade of green.
Yep, I knew it.
Uh, a nice like vibrant purple. This is almost it looks blue on here, but like Twitch purple.
Ooh, so wait, like their first color or their new color?
Any of that like range.
Oh, okay.
More towards their first color, where it's more
Okay.
on the
Little
red side of
deeper.
purple instead of the blue side of purple.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah, not purple indigo. Because right now we're leaning more the Twitch purple is more blue. I
Yeah,
like more of a reddish undertone purple. So not violet. Violet is more towards
like
red.
a good mix between
Yeah.
violet and purple.
Um, and I like light blues. This is not green. It's light
It
blue.
is now.
Tiffany blue, sky blue, light teal or aqua, any of those kind of ones. But green number one.
Yeah. You like sagey greens, right?
I like sagey greens. I like a good Kelly green sometimes.
Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
You like emerald
having
greens?
taking a year of color theory, I'm very specific on my colors too.
Mhm.
So when people are like, I like green, I'm like, no, you can't just like green. Like, what
What
kind of green? Do
kind
you
of
like a
green?
spring green or a grass green or a sage green or olive or military or hunter or Kelly or
Or
like,
forest?
yeah, or forest green? Like, there's so many different colors outside of just the main
Have
six.
you seen that meme where it's like men know these just few
Yeah,
colors and women know like, "No, which one in that category? Which color
like
is it?"
every woman knows what Robin Egg blue is, right?
Yep. You know what a Tiffany blue is.
Yes, you know what
Uh,
Tiffany blue is.
fuchsia is not just pink, and it's not obviously purple.
Mm-mm.
It's
And it's
fuchsia.
totally different than magenta.
It's absolutely different than magenta, and don't get lilac confused with, like, periwinkle.
No,
Uh,
Purple's Mountain Majesty. Do you remember that crayon color? I loved that crayon color.
I wanna be the person to just make up crayon names.
Oh man. It's so
Hagrid's
good.
Hut Brown. Uh,
A friend of mine went to a Crayola store and she made a crayon in my favorite blue color that she named Charlie's name is on it. And then it rolled
that's
off the
so
counter and
cool.
snapped in half, so it's taped
Oh,
together.
well, there you go. Also, I just noticed how you say crayon.
Crayon.
Yeah, you say crayon.
CRAN. Crayon.
You say crayon, and I say crayon.
I have a lot
That's
of words.
actually
We actually
funny.
discussed this at dinner last night that I do not say correctly. Would you like to hear them?
Please go.
Okay.
Shoot.
I
It's
say
all about
crayon.
you.
I say Sol. I saw
Wait,
something.
what you're talking about is Saul.
No. So I guess okay, I'll do this. I'll spell it out. SAW.
Okay.
Sol.
Saul.
Okay. WOLF. Woof.
Wolf.
I just say woof.
Woof.
If I have to say that, then I have to go wolf. Like I'm throwing
Wolf.
up. Wolf.
Wolf.
I
How do you
can't
say
say it.
washer?
It's woof. WUFF. Woof.
How do you say WASHER?
Washer.
Okay, washer.
I don't do warsher, any of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a more southern thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And then I say orange.
who?
OIN.
Orange?
I've been able to correct myself more with that. So if I think about it, I can say orange. But it's another one of those things that I have. It's like orange. Like,
I
I'm gonna
love that.
throw up.
How do you say water?
Water with a D.
Yeah, I say it with a D as well. Water.
Mhm.
Um,
I say edited,
edited?
but with an additional ed.
Edited.
Edited, edited. When I was younger, I could not say pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
I would say pneumonia.
Anemone.
And then when I was really little, I couldn't say purple, and I would say pipple. But that was like little kid. But as an adult, I say Saul, woof, which is funny. I can say Saul, but I can't say wolf.
Wolf.
I mean, it's almost the same throat and like tongue position. So
Yeah.
Saul, woof, orange, edited. Those are the main ones.
I'm trying to think of any other ones that would be fun. I mean, and then of course there's words where there are like proper different pronunciations. So like pecan or pecan.
Yeah, caramel or caramel.
Roof rough. Route root.
What? Roof rough?
Yeah, rough.
What's a rough? Rough is like something that's not soft.
Up on the rough.
Up on the rough? I've never heard of that.
I had an English teacher who used to call it rough. Maybe it's a southern thing. But she said rough. And it always mixed me up because I'm like, wait, is it a roof or a rough? So there's that.
I'm trying to think. Roof.
Oh, what about rural?
Rural.
Rural. I can't
Roll.
even say it.
It's like roll with an R in there. Roll.
Roll.
Anyone say salmon with the L pronounced? Salmon? No,
Yeah, if I'm trying to say like salmonella.
SAMON. Salmon.
Oh my gosh.
You
But
see the
anyway.
middle C in Arctic? I say
Arctic.
Instead of Arctic.
Arctic.
The Arctic Circle.
Now I think I'm just trying too hard. Or
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, continuing on. If you were an animal, what would you be? Would you be a wolf?
Definitely not, because I couldn't say it. I'd be like, "Hi, I'm a wolf."
And then be like,
I would be an otter.
oh yeah, you would.
But not because they're my favorite animal. But this is why they're my favorite animals, because they are very soft and snuggly and cuddly and adorable and very endearing. But then they also can bite your face off.
Love that.
And that's kind of the person that I want to be, right? Like I want to be very welcoming and lovable and, open to people until they make me mad and then I bite your face off.
There you go.
Yeah.
Please don't bite my face off. I like it.
I mean, I have so many little otters all over. That's
They're
like
so cute. It's so you.
so many. Hold on, we're not done yet.
Oh, that one's coming off as green. Is that a green otter?
He's blue. He's my Patronus. My mother-in-law made him for me.
Aw. Yeah, well, he's invisible right now.
Yes.
Or do you have any phobias that you're willing to share?
Yes, I do. I have a fear of bridges,
Mm.
fear of bridges, and a severe fear of snakes.
So when you say bridges, any bridge? Like even one over a little creek
Mainly bridges
or
that go over water that you are in a car.
so extended
Uh,
extension bridges?
it can be over a stream. I don't
Oh.
care. Walking on bridges that are, it's almost always over water. If it's like an overpass, not so much. But I've always had like just this fear of, you get thrown off of this bridge and you're in a car and then you're in the water now and now you have to try to escape. And I've watched so many YouTube videos and I have all the tools in my car for this to ever to take care of this. It got even worse when I had Charlie because I was like, well, crap. Now, if I fall into the water and I'm in my car and I have to now get myself out and my kid out. And so I had to relearn how all of that worked. Um, and in high school, so like I always had this kind of subtle fear growing up that it just made me uncomfortable if I was stuck on a bridge for a long time. But in high school, I was on a bus going to a marching band competition, and we were going on a smaller bridge that was under construction. So it was a very narrow bridge, and another bus was coming away from the marching band competition, and our bus accidentally pushed the other bus into the ravine, and I watched it.
So you have
Uh,
trauma.
yeah. And being, let's see, I was in 10th grade. Being in that bus and screaming to the bus driver to stop because we heard it, turned around, and watched it go over. And two kids died from it. And the bus driver, he's legally not allowed to stop for situations like that. It's part of their training that they have to just keep driving and alert the appropriate authorities. And so the truck, our percussion truck behind us, they stopped. And that included our drum majors and a couple of teachers. And they dove down into the ravine and started pulling kids out and stuff like that. We get to the school that we were having our competition at, and we are letting all the other buses know what happened, and everybody's crying. We still got to go perform.
Yeah.
We told the people that were running the competition what happened, and we asked for a moment of silence because we didn't know what the results were. But right as we were ready to go onto the field, our drum major showed up. They got in there in time, and he had muddy handprints all over his pants, and he performed. He led our band just like that. And being in color guard, you get points for smiling. If you're not smiling the whole entire time, you get points docked.
Mhm.
And they didn't dock us that day. We asked for a moment of silence. Nobody really knew why. They thought it was just like a thing that our school was doing for something personal, because weren't going to just announce to all these parents and stuff like that that a bus had just flipped. And then while we're performing, all of these helicopters were flying over the school to go pick all those kids up and take them to
Yeah.
the hospital. And I just cried the whole entire time. It turned into a huge lawsuit between our town and the town that school was from. So it continued for years of just being reminded of it over and over and over again. Thankfully, I've been able to work through the trauma. So, but that like really solidified the fear of bridges, but especially over water. So,
Yeah.
and then I had a bad experience with snakes when I was in kindergarten. So, why do they think it's a good idea to bring boa constrictors and anacondas to a kindergarten classroom for kids to touch?
Yo,
Just,
big true though.
just saying. So,
Nothing bad happened with that, right? You just were scared of it?
Well, it got
No,
taken
no, no.
away because I got too nervous.
Oh,
Okay, so in kindergarten we had long skinny tables that we all sat on, and they let the snake, do. I don't remember if it was a big guy, so it was either anaconda or a boa constrictor, because I remember multiple. They had multiple snakes in that day,
mm,
and they let it, slither down the table, and when we were able to reach out and touch it, but I was just so nervous because shy, quiet little kid. And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, you have to touch it." I'm like, "I don't want to." And everyone's like, "You have to touch it." I'm like, "I don't want to." And so I'm like, I'm shaking. And the trainers that were there, they said, "You don't have anything to fear, but if you show fear, they will pick up on it." And so now I'm like, I can't be afraid, but I'm afraid. But oh my gosh, now they're going to, oh yeah, or a python. There you go. Maybe not an
yeah.
anaconda.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh.
It was a big guy. I don't care. So he's
It's bigger
slithering
than me.
along and he stops in front of me. And then he turned his head and just sat there and stared at me with his little tongue. And then he started to lift his head and then he got picked up and taken away.
He liked you, and did he like
So he really picked up on my fear that I had. And
Oh
I
my
can't
god.
I can't look at pictures of them anymore. When we go to the zoo, I know where they all are, and I conveniently put myself on the other side of the wall. Charlie knows that I'm afraid of snakes, and thankfully that fear has not been passed on to him because I try as hard as I can. If he's interested in looking at a snake and it's just me and him at the zoo, I will stand on one side of the walkway and he stands on the other side, so I can see it from a distance. But no.
He um, well, continuing, I guess, with a little bit of a hard topic, what was the hardest goodbye that you've had in life so far?
um, hmm. I know which one coming will be the hardest goodbye for me as far as someone passing away.
Mm,
Uh, it's so bad. It's not my parents because I just can't imagine my parents disappearing. Right? Like I just don't. That hasn't clicked in my head yet that they have a timeline.
yeah.
But my great aunt Bunny will be the person that will hit me the hardest. She's the one that I would always go see. She's the one that introduced me to Harry Potter. She was the one that I wanted to be when I was younger. And she was the food stylist, and she is
Mhm.
amazing. And she is has done yoga all around the world and is a yoga instructor. And she's just a cool person. And she's so artsy and eclectic, but like loving and normal at the same time. And it just I think about it every once in a while because she's to that age. Thankfully, she's in really good health, but she's to that age. I mean, the woman's been struck by lightning twice. Like,
What?
yes. She's climbed mountains. She has traveled to every little nook and cranny of the world. She's done yoga at sunrise in front of Machu Picchu. Like,
That's so
she is
cool.
my dream woman. Um, so that's the one that I think I know that her timeline is potentially going to be done in the next 20 years.
I think that
Um,
counts.
and that, yeah, I think that will be my hardest goodbye.
Mm. I wanna meet this woman.
She's so great. My
She's
best
so
friend
hot.
Renee, I took her out there to go and stay with me because I would go. My parents would send me out there for 2 weeks every summer. Um, and I brought her in high school with me, and she came back just as mesmerized by my aunt. Ben's met her 3 times, and just this 2 years ago, we went out there to go stay at their house for a vacation, our first actual family vacation, and and I was able to show him all the things growing up that were important to me in her house. And she paints it every few years because that's just, she can't have the things the same. But there's still so many pieces about it that are exactly the same from when I was 6 years old.
Aw.
That my first memory of when I was 4 was in her original house. So she is my first memory.
Oh, and I was about to actually ask you, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Laying in her TV room snuggled up watching a TV show with my dad, but I was snuggled up in my Care Bears blanket. And I was
Oh,
about 3 or 4. I think 3 because they moved soon after that to the house that they're currently in.
really early.
And my uncle walking down the stairs after coming in from outside and him telling me that I looked so comfortable snuggling with my dad.
Oh.
And it was a time that was not good in my parents' marriage. My dad and I had he took me to California to just take a break from being with my mom, and so for that to be a positive first memory, because it could have been a bad memory because they were not doing well then. So
Yeah. Well, lightheartedness, if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
um we talk about this all the time, and I feel like I would want I feel like I would want something like Scarlet Witch, where you
What is
can, so like, if you are you watching WandaVision?
I'm not.
Okay.
Not on that.
Do you know, or do you watch a lot of Marvel?
Nope.
Okay.
I haven't seen
So
anything since
she can
Endgame.
change reality, basically.
Oh, that's cool.
She is probably arguably one of the most powerful superheroes in the MCU. Captain Marvel would be very
Ooh.
close to that. There's debate, between this
Mhm.
Captain Marvel can do practically everything. But she can change reality, and she can create her own world. So
That's pretty cool. That would be
yeah.
cool. What's your favorite TV show?
Um, long-standing TV show, Gilmore Girls.
Okay, short standing.
Currently, I just recently watched Fate: The Winx Saga.
Is it good?
It's
I've
so
heard good things.
good. I didn't know
Okay,
it
I'm
was
gonna
based
do
off
it.
of a cartoon that's like a
Yeah,
little kid
me.
cartoon. Yeah, I've never heard of Winx Club before. And so I saw it and I was like, oh, well, it's magical, and I like these magical shows. And I watched it, and it's so good. It's like Harry Potter and Gossip Girl put together
That's
into
what I've
one.
heard.
Ah,
Marking that on my list. What's
yes.
your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is The Memphis Belle.
Oh, I've never seen that.
It came out. It's about the airplane, the Memphis Belle, the Boeing B-17F. And it was one of the last planes that did missions in World War II.
Whoa. Okay.
And
Is it on
it's
Netflix? Like, is it available to watch?
looking. I haven't watched it in so long. It has Rudy, the guy that plays Rudy. He also plays Samwise.
Oh,
Um,
with him.
in there. Sean
Oh,
Astin
wait.
has
I think I do know what this movie is.
Harry Connick Jr. in
Yeah.
it. Let's see, the movie came out in 1990. But where can you watch it?
I'm sure I can
Amazon
find
Prime.
it.
You can rent it for $2.99 on Amazon Prime. And it's just such a good movie. Otherwise, Lion King.
Oh, that's a good one. What is your ultimate comfort food?
Cereal.
I thought you were going to say garlic bread again.
Garlic bread, Rice Krispie treats, and cereal. Bread of any kind. Can we just all
Carb.
agree that bread is amazing?
Yes. I like
I
pasta.
don't think there's been a kind of bread that I've ever turned down.
That's good to note.
Yes.
What feature on you do you like best? What's your favorite feature?
My eyes.
Yeah, you do have very beautiful eyes.
I have very big doe eyes.
And they're green, so the camera likes to make them invisible.
Are they?
Sometimes it'll like
Yeah.
pick it up.
That's hilarious. I like my eyes a lot, and Charlie has my eyes where just staring ahead, you can see almost all of the color of your eye versus, like some people that have more squinty eyes, the tops and bottoms are covered. But if
Mhm.
I just stare and relax my eyes, you can see the whole entire circle of my eye. And I've always
Oh, yeah,
enjoyed
you
that.
can. That is really cool.
And I always like my hair color.
Your hair is awesome. We were talking about that earlier. I love your hair so much.
It was bright red though, like fire engine red.
Now you're like a strawberry
Like
blonde.
fire engine red hair when I was a baby.
Dang, I love that. Well then, what's the best compliment you've ever received?
Looks wise or not, or
Whichever.
Ben is really good at building me up.
Aw.
He's very good at building me up. Even the smallest things, the way that he just tells me I'm doing a good job is something that I didn't get a lot of growing up. And so at first, like, I craved that from him. And
Mhm.
now it just makes me feel good that somebody can appreciate even the smallest things that I do. Like, I learned to punch needle, and I made my first one and it looked like crap. Like, the spacing was off, it was horrible and stuff like that. But he's like, you know what, you're so good at picking up new things.
You
I was
are.
like, I am. Sometimes you just need to be reminded, right, of what you're good at. So I think that his compliments, and obviously he thinks the world of me, so he compliments me on everything, um, are the best.
Good. What's your favorite plant or flower?
I love poppies.
Oh,
I love
yes.
that. I don't think I've ever seen or had a poppy in person though. But I just
Really?
love, yeah, I don't think I have. I just love the look of them when they're like hand drawn. I love anemone flowers a lot. They're the white ones with the black on the inside. They look like
Uh-huh.
the white windflowers in Animal Crossing.
Yep.
And then the orange windflowers look like poppies. I would
I
say
love
those. And as
that.
far as like a plant or a tree, I really love ash trees. They're
Ash
just,
tree?
yeah,
Okay.
they're just
Ash.
big and mighty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are really pretty.
Birch trees, of course, pretty.
Now I'm just looking at trees.
Yeah.
All right. How do you deal with stress? This is the last question that is from me, and then we'll get into Twitter.
How I deal with stress.
Mhm.
I try not to ignore it.
That's important.
Yeah. Usually if it's like something that I need to do, I just bunker down and do it.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I do nothing. And that, I guess that's how I deal with stress, is I just do nothing. I always joke with Ben that after he goes back downstairs to do his night stream and Charlie is in bed, I literally lay on the couch and am just catatonic for a couple hours and watch shows now. Like,
Good. You deserve
that
that. You work
that's
hard.
it. But otherwise, if I'm super stressed to the point that I'm at an emotional overflow, it usually has to deal with moving my body and listening to music.
Well, thank you for answering all of my questions. Now we're gonna head over to Twitter. Also, if y'all would like to ask Sam questions, Twitter questions are gonna come first. So, of course, if you want your questions answered for next week as well for mine, make sure you answer on our Twitter post that we will make. But first things first, the Dr. Lupo has asked, "What's the most difficult part of being married to a child as well as having one at the same time?"
This morning, I was like, "Don't forget that I'm doing my show today." And he came out of the bathroom. He's like, "You better ask my question."
I asked it, Ben. I got you. All right, Sam. What's it like?
All right, what's it like? What is? I have to look at these again. What did he say exactly?
What's the most difficult part of being married to a child as well as having one at the same time?
The best part is obviously he's joking, right? Like for the most part,
Yes.
he's joking here. But what's the most difficult part of being married to a child as well as having one at the same time is that they react to things exactly the same.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Like,
love that.
I could be like, did you fart? And they'd both be like, no. And it'd be all giggly. Like just their reactions are exactly the same to things. I honestly don't know how to answer this without turning it into like some giant joke. So thankfully he's not really that much of a man child. He gets his shit done. That's the Lupo model.
And he
Model?
has
Motto
one whole
is,
model.
yeah, we are the Lupos and we get shit done. And that's how we do it.
Good answer. All right, well then, next one. How do you walk the line between trying to be sustainable slash minimal and doing things for just plain convenience?
This one was I commented on this one yesterday because it's such a difficult thing.
Mhm.
For those of you guys who don't know, for the most part, I try to live a fairly low waste, minimal, sustainable life. Um, Obviously, right now in a pandemic, it's very hard because I can't bring my own grocery bags. I
Mhm.
can't, do a lot of that stuff that I did before. But even last night when we went to the food truck, I forgot to bring a bag to carry all of our food containers home in. So they gave me two plastic bags on top of the styrofoam containers that they already gave me and the plastic forks that I told them I didn't need. So like it's very difficult and I don't I try not to hold myself down for, making a mistake and stuff like that. Because the world doesn't need somebody to do this kind of stuff perfectly. They need everybody to do it imperfectly. So if you skip a straw and let's say you decide to not use straws anymore, and you bring reusable straws or paper straws or whatever, that's doing more than somebody that is focusing their life solely around not making any mistakes because then inevitably they're going to make mistakes and then they'll fall off the bandwagon. So I I do what I can. So like we don't use napkins. We use cloth napkins.
Mhm.
We only use paper towels for animal messes basically and bacon grease. Those are the two reasons why we use paper towels. So we buy 1 12 pack of paper towels a year and we usually still have a little bit left over by the end of the year. We use one roll of paper towels every 4 to 6 weeks.
That's nice.
Um, and sometimes more, depending if the cats are throwing up or not. So
Good to
I think it's just definitely pick something that you think that you can easily do. And if you mess up, just start over again the next day.
There you go. When you started being Ben's manager, what is something you didn't know then that you know now?
The funny thing is not a lot. Because my parents have almost always owned their own businesses and or they were in higher management positions if they worked for somebody else and that was very
Mhm.
rare. Um, but they instilled that in me. So I've almost always have been in a managerial or owned my own business position. So I think that's why the transfer of um, moving over to work solely for Ben, it was a fairly easy one for me. Obviously, there's little things that I learned about the gaming industry and stuff like that. But as far as like managing and planning and stuff like that, I feel like for the most part, I had that already at a time. So
Mhm.
I don't have an answer for that.
That's okay. You don't have to. Some of the questions you've already answered, honestly, they're just reworded. Oh, here's one from Della Gracie. What's an average day like?
An average day. I wake up. Recently, I've been
Proud of
waking
you.
up to our lamps turning on versus sounds. I've been trying to do the whole light thing. Slowly wake up because I hate being abruptly woken up. Um, Charlie and I will play for a little bit, and I'll usually do a workout, and then we'll have breakfast. If it's a day that I'm just hanging out with Boy, I literally am just hanging out with Boy all day long, and trying to do any kind of little work or housework in between. But if he's with Grandma, it's usually errands for the first half of the day and kind of like my personal stuff that I need to do around the house. And the second half of the day is emails and business meetings and projects and phone calls and all that kind of stuff. Today it's backward. So today is obviously work stuff. This is work for me, right? In the morning. And then this afternoon, I'll go get our mail and stuff like that, and do any kind of errands that we need. Ben gets done with work. He's done with stream. We hang out. Start making dinner at 5. We eat by 5:30. And we're done eating by 6. We usually watch movies most nights. So it's always funny. I see people that are just like Friday night movie nights and stuff like that. I'm like, we have movie nights every night practically. Like we've seen so many movies with Charlie, and now we're starting to go through the really old ones that we've seen growing up, and we get snacks and snuggle downstairs on the bed couch and watch movies. He goes to bed at 8. I go catatonic for a couple hours until 11, and then Ben gets done with work, and we watch a show and go to bed.
Nice. Well, that's all of our Twitter questions that aren't already things that you've really answered. So, are there any questions from live chat right now that y'all would like to ask Sam that we haven't already touched base on? I could probably ask maybe 2 to 4, depending on how long the answers will be. So go ahead and get those questions out. Thank you for answering all of these. I've been learning a lot too. This has been nice.
Yeah, and we didn't even like the things that always people are always surprised about me. We didn't even talk about today.
Like what? Touch base on
Um,
that.
that most people are surprised. One, that I grew up with limos. We talked about that a little bit.
Mhm.
We touched briefly on flying airplanes. We touched very briefly on my favorite place in the whole entire world, that I rock climb and used to live as a climbing bum in the summer. And those are like the main 3 things that people don't usually know about me.
Ooh, sounds like we might need a second interview sometime. um, Clark, we've already answered like the proposal stuff in our 2 podcasts ago, I believe, or 3.
Mhm.
So if you'd like to listen to that, I highly recommend going back. And then, who's your favorite internet friend, and why are most of them named Sam?
Basically, practically anybody named Sam at this point.
Same.
I
Why
have
do
so
they
many friends
all
named
name
Sam. It's
Sam?
hilarious.
I've never met a Sam I don't like. I don't know what it is, but Sams are just
The girl that peed on me, her name was Sam.
thanks, Sam. Love you. I mean, do you still like her?
Do I
Or was
still
that
like her? I haven't talked to her in a long time for other reasons.
Ah, okay. Favorite piece of technology?
Mm. I love my iPad. I love being able to draw with my Apple Pencil on my iPad.
I love that for you. Will you ever go back to rock climbing in the future? Do you think you could?
I have plans. I'm determined. I'm so determined. You will see one day how determined I am.
I think that you could do it with as well as you've been doing with yoga and grow your muscles. Y'all, she got muscles.
I've always
Like
had really good,
like she
prominent
cut.
back and arm muscles. Like that's the first thing that my body builds up is my arm and back muscles. I
Dang,
used to
that's
be
nice.
very self-conscious of my arms though, because they would dip even as a little kid, like 5th, 6th grade,
Mhm.
because I had the muscle definition and all my friends didn't. And they would always tell me that I looked like a dude. And I was like, and I hated it. I would not wear anything that showed my arms for the longest time until I realized that it's
Mhm.
cool to be strong.
Oh, this is a good one. If you could come out with your own products, what would you want to put your name on, but not merch? So like skincare, yoga related, I don't know. What would you like?
Um, that's hard because I don't think I'd ever want my name permanently attached to something. I think a book would be fun. I think, but not merch.
Mhm.
I couldn't have like a brand that like
I think it's
Kate,
a clothing thing that you've like made, like Lupo
like
clothing.
yeah, like Fabletics for Kate Hudson kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to make like workout active gear, I think that's different than just like slapping your name on a t-shirt or
Right.
a hoodie.
Um, I think the only thing that I'd be the most confident on, and probably not even that, would be a book.
Makes sense. I think that I'd like to read a book from you. What would you title it? Like, what would it be about?
I don't know.
Ooh.
All right, I want to write kids books.
That's right. Are you still doing that? We're planning on it? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Any advice on how to begin decorating a new home? Like, how do you manage to make each room work together so well and functional?
Take it slow. Don't just go buy all the things that you think look cute. Have a home theme,
Mm.
or a home color scheme. So it's notorious for anybody that lives in apartments that can't paint to buy their first house and paint everything all the colors of the rainbow. We did it. I had a lime green kitchen when we first moved in.
Oh.
I had a lime green kitchen. I had baby blue bathrooms. We kept our main living area neutral. You guys saw Ben's old stream room down in the basement. It was dark blue. Um, and we were just kind of all over the place. And very quickly did I get sick of that.
Mm.
Um, so I think find a color scheme that can work throughout your whole entire home. Our current color scheme is white, cream, gray, lighter sage greens, navy blues, mixed wood tones, mixed metals. So it still can be very broad,
Yeah,
but you walk through my whole entire house and it looks like a cohesive space.
it does. It's really nice. It's actually quite soothing walking through your house,
Yeah.
I'll say. I like the color scheme as well. It's like soft greens and blues.
Yeah, darker
Relax.
navy blues,
Mhm,
and sage green are like the two main colors that we
mhm.
have. And
Navy's our main color.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's such a
and
good color.
gold medals for us. What's another one? Where did you get the nickname Boy for
I
Charlie?
was reading that one. Charlie's had a few different nicknames. When he was a baby, he was Nugget.
Aw.
He was Captain Nugget in the Charlie spaceship. Is was his his pet name that Ben gave him. So
Mhm.
he was Captain Nugget and he lived inside the Charlie spaceship.
Aw.
And so, but we called him Nugget a lot. And then just boys just happened. And
Reminds me
even
of,
now,
God of
I mean,
War.
he's 5.5 and I'll still be like, boy. He'll be like, what? And a lot of people have given us some grief about it because, referring to someone as boy has been, in the past in history used negatively um for people of color, and
Oh,
but it's never been a thing that ever crossed our minds. We don't call him that in a negative for in any kind of negative way. um it's yeah, it was always that got brought up to us a few times and we're just like, nothing negative. The day that he tells us he doesn't like us calling him that, like he doesn't like when I call him baby anymore. And so I try not to because he's always just like, I'm not a baby. I'm like, okay, sorry. So there you go. And yeah, a lot of people said it reminds them of God of War. And
yeah.
that's cool. That's fine. Whatever.
All right. I don't see any more questions right now. However, if y'all still want to ask Sam questions, y'all can. I have to start skedaddling to go get in costume. Thank you so much, Sam. I hope that y'all learned a lot about Dr. Lupo. I actually learned a lot as well, and she's one of my best friends. That was actually really fun. And next week will be about me. It's weird
Yeah.
saying things are
We'll
going
be
to be
asking
about
the
you.
same set of questions at the beginning, and then we'll be doing Twitter questions and chat
Mhm.
questions as well. So yeah.
And I'll see y'all next week.
Okay, bye everybody.